Hey guys, so today's video tutorial or video series is about battle ready neophyte hybrids and then how to take them to the next stage. What you'll need to accomplish the same colour scheme as the ones you can see just up there is the following paints: Space Wolves Grey, Fyreslayer Flesh, Magos Purple in contrast medium, Blood Angels Red, Basilicanum Grey, Black Templar, Skeleton Horde. For the metallics, we'll need Leadbelcher and Brass Scorpion, and a wash of Agrax Earthshade, and Stormhost Silver and Sycorax Bronze, however you want to say it, as the highlights. Kislev Flesh for the skin, Yriel Yellow for the little spotlights, and Administratum Grey for the grey armour. Cool, so the very first thing you want to do is use Space Wolves Grey on all of his clothes, such as his sleeves there and the his leggings. So what we're going to do is grab our small layer brush and a big dollop of Space Wolves Grey, and we're just going to start smashing that on to the model. No need to thin or use a palette, straight from the pot. So once the Space Wolves Grey is dry, what we want to do is pick out the red parts, things like his loincloth here, and there's the occasional arm wrap or something on some of the other miniatures. But what we want to do, of course, is just grab a dollop. We just want to get in there. Don't need to be worried about being too careful around the icon, because we're not going to be using contrast on that. We're going to be using a layer paint, so we can just be a little bit messy, obviously avoiding the Space Wolf Grey parts that we've done already. So next up, what we want to do is we want to do Black Templar. We want to do this on things like the pouches, the boots, and this kind of ribbed armor like this. We will need Black Templar again for the gun casing just here, and also for the strap on his mask. But we're not going to do that right now because we want to do that as like a final step once we've done the other colours. So I'm going to grab some Black Templar. I'm going to start on the boot just down here. And again, we're just going to slap it on as you do normally with contrast. One of the good things about Black Templar is that it's just very easy to work with. It's also very easy to spot where you've missed something. Cool, so now that the red, black and, well, the Space Wolves Grey is done, we want another grey. So we're going to take our Basilicanum Grey and we're going to use it on all of these kind of armor panels and backpack and all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is, as before, just grab a brush load and we're just going to start whacking it on. So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to use Leviadon Blue for the Genestealer carapace bits that you can see on this particular model. This isn't across the entire squad, it's only on a couple of them. So basically I'm trying to justify forgetting to put it in the intro. So what we're going to do is just grab a little bit and we're just going to brush it onto the model like so. Alright, so the last contrast paint that we're going to use for a while at least is Fyreslayer Flesh. And this is for his hands, any kind of arms, muscles that you can see on some of them, and of course the face. So what we want to do is we actually want to just grab a brush load like this, and then on the head you want to kind of make contact with the model and then pull it towards the back, because this stops kind of there being like a pooling effect that we don't really want. And kind of, if you're going to have a shadow, you could have it kind of around the back of the head, kind of like that. you see, and then of course you can use a drier brush, one without any paint on it, to just pull off any excess there that you don't want. But it's worth just taking a bit of time over this stage, so that it just kind of looks, well, uniform as how you want it. Of course, with the hands it's a lot simpler because you've got lots of nice recessed detail there, which just accepts the Fyreslayer Flesh, embraces it, as it were. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take a little bit of Leadbelcher and thin it down with some water, which I've already done. And now we just want to coat all of the metallic parts, and including the ones that we want to be bronze, right? Because this is a base paint, so it gives it quite a nice platform for the brass scorpion to purchase on. So this will include things like the gun, his mask, this little lamp up here, and things like the pistol handle and the explosives on his back, and these little things here. Alright, so now that the Leadbelcher is dry, we're going to take some pre-thinned brass scorpion that we've just done with a bit of water. What we're going to do is we're going to pick out all the parts we want to be bronze. So that includes things like, well, in my case, just here on the shotgun itself, and things like the icon just down there. As well as the explosives here and the back of the searchlight. Alright, so now that the metallics are dry, what we want to do is we want to get some Agrax Earthshade over all those metallics that we've just done. So I'm just going to take a bit straight from the pot because I'm a renegade, and I'm just going to be very liberal with it because we kind of want a dirty metallic look to these guys. They're not the cleanest after all. Still being relatively careful with, you know, not soaking it, but, you know, also important to just kind of be careful around all the bits that you've contrasted already, kind of like the hands on here. You'll notice I've left the claws for now, just because I didn't want to splodge on them. So yeah. Alright, so next up what we want to do is we want to take a spot of Kislev Flesh. Don't need very much on the brush, kind of like that. And then we want to just kind of highlight the most prominent ridges on the flesh. So things like the knuckles here. And also things like the ridges on his skull. Next we want some Yriel Yellow just for his little searchlight up here. And now we want to go back to Black Templar for the claws, the strap round the back of his helmet, and for this part of the gun casing, because I really like that blackened metal effect that Black Templar over silver gives you. So we'll start with the claws, and then we'll work our way around. So the next step is to create like a 3-to-1 mix of contrast medium and Magos Purple, which I've done here. And by 3-to-1 mix, I mean 3 brush loads of contrast medium and 1 load of Magos Purple. And then what we want to do is we want to just glaze this over the skin to really kind of, one, make those highlights that we did earlier with Kislev Flesh pop up a little bit more, but also to give the skin more of an alien feel. And this will work over Guilliman Flesh over Fyreslayer Flesh. Not so much over Dark Oath Flesh, as it's quite a bit darker. But as you can see, it kind of gives it that more purpley aspect. We want to do it on the hands. And of course, any other flesh that's showing on any of your other Neophyte hybrids. Once the model has dried, it's time to nearly finish him off. So what we're going to do is we're going to edge highlight the grey with Administratum Grey, the silver with Stormhost Silver, and the bronze with Sycorax Bronze. And then he's done. So we're going to grab our little bit of Administratum Grey, and we're going to start off with the armour. So we just want to go around these edges here like this. So there you have it, with the grey, the silver and the bronze highlights applied. This is what you get as a finished article. And I think that looks suitably grisly and suitably dirty and lovely. And I just, yeah, tell me what you think. I hope this video was helpful. Yeah, comment below or something, I guess. I don't know. I'm new to this.